Hey guys, it's Margarita Yang back with another video for you today. Why high-income earners live paycheck to paycheck. I used to read these kinds of headlines way back then when I started reading about personal finance, about how 25% of high-income earners or people who earn six-figure incomes live paycheck to paycheck, and that the reason was because of the high cost of living and how wages haven't kept up with inflation, and how nowadays you need to earn much more than $100,000 to live a middle-class lifestyle. And I used to read those and I actually believed them. Now that I'm older and wiser and I have more knowledge, right? I actually think those headlines and articles that I read are full of shit, okay? And I hate to say this, but the reason is because that these people who earn a lot of money are just very terrible with money. And I've always felt like I have to be politically correct on this channel, and I have to teach personal finance in a way so that you don't feel like you're being judged. But I'm very sorry. You know, this year, this year, I'm gonna make over $100,000 because I took on more clients on the side on top of my full-time job. Okay, so I finally have reached the income that I used to read about and made me wonder, like, why is it that, like, they make that much money but they still can't manage to save somehow? Or, you know, I used to think to myself back when I was earning a minimum wage, like, oh man, if I made $100,000 a year, and if I just made that much money for 10 years and I kept living the same lifestyle that I was living back when I was earning a minimum wage job and still somehow saving 25% of my paycheck, that in 10 years, without even investing my money, I would somehow manage to become a millionaire, okay? So that was always in my head, and to me, this was a math problem, okay? And this year, it's not only the fact that I'm making $100,000 this year because of all my sources of income. Hello, this is future Annie here, interjecting into this video. Under the advice of a very good friend of mine and mentor, I've decided to take down the original video that I uploaded, and I had to cut out a section that had personally identifying information. So basically, here's the context. I have been doing free bookkeeping for a self-employed professional, and I've never signed any sort of service contract or confidentiality agreement with this self-employed professional, which is why, you know, it wouldn't have mattered that I had personally identifying information in the original video. But, you know, I guess, yeah, I have to be a bigger person, because if I want to go on to do big things, I can't have things coming back to bite me in the butt. So here's the context. She has been charging personal expenses to her business card, and therefore, since I've been doing the bookkeeping, I see all these personal expenses flowing through her books for the past 8 months. And, you know, I don't necessarily agree with it. I actually ethically think it's wrong, because she's doing it so that she can write these expenses off and pay less money and taxes. It's just not the right way to run a business. And I've reminded her many times that she can get audited by the IRS and get in trouble. But for some reason, or I don't know why, she just believes that keeping these receipts, which I'm responsible for filing away, is enough to save her in case she gets audited by the IRS. But, you know, here's the deal. I see all these personal expenses flowing out, transaction by transaction, with their receipts. So I have a very good in-depth look at her finances. I have a very good in-depth look at her finances. She's definitely someone who makes over $100,000 a year. Double income, no kids, so she has a husband, no kids. Husband also owns a business, and I don't know how much he makes, but I'm going to assume he makes over $100,000 a year also, because if you're not making at least that much as a business owner that you pay yourself a salary, then you're better off working a job, working for someone else, okay? So I'm just gonna say roughly, they're making $200,000, or at least $200,000, and because they have to pay more money in taxes because they are both business owners, self-employed, either way, I'm just gonna say that they're paying 25% of their income in taxes, okay? So that means that in this scenario, we're looking at taking home $150,000, okay? And I used to look at taking home $150,000 like, oh man, that's a lot of money. Where does it all go, you know? And because this person puts her personal expenses on her business books, which I personally don't agree with, I do see her personal expenses. And here's a rough calculation on where all the money goes and why when someone's earning a high income, they still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck and not financially getting ahead for some reason, even though if you're earning that much money, you're actually, if you're watching this right now, you actually have the highest potential out of everyone watching my videos. Become financially independent and control your own destiny, because once other people don't have a say in how you make money, then you really get to make your own decisions in life, okay? You actually have the highest potential to do that. So I'm not saying this to be mean, but I actually want you to wake up and realize what you're actually capable of, okay? So let's just go right into it. Mortgage, $3,000 a month. Double income, no kids, right? $3,000 a month. That's just on the mortgage. Well, okay, when I say mortgage, I mean it includes the property taxes and insurance, okay? $3,000 a month for a 2,800 square foot house. That's a lot of space for two adults, okay? Utilities, $550 a month. That means water, electricity, internet, and gas, $550 a month. Cell phone bill, $160 a month. So that is basically just, you know, the average American, $80 a month per person on cell phone bills. If you want to cut down on your cell phone bill, you can watch my video on how to cut your cell phone bill in half that I made a few years back. That will cut your cell phone bill down to even like $20. Now, when you add up the $3,000 a month housing payment, along with the $550 a month utilities and just the $160 a month cell phone, you're looking at already $3,710 a month, okay? Just on the bare so-called necessities. And when you multiply that by 12 months, over the course of a year, you're paying $44,520 just on the necessities, okay? And what else? So transportation is the next biggest expense. Leases her car. So I don't know if it's a 2-year lease or a 3-year lease. She just got the lease last year. And since the beginning, she's been paying $906 a month. But let's just, you know, to round it off, let's just say $900 a month. So at $900 a month, we're looking at $10,800 a year just for the lease, like the monthly lease payment on her car. It's a luxury vehicle. If she had to buy it brand new with cash outright, it's gonna be worth around $60,000, okay? But we're looking at 10 lease payment. Because we live in the state of Massachusetts, over here we have to pay an annual property tax on the car, and that is based on how much the car was worth MSRP, and also how old is the car. And since it's only 1 year old, of course, it's going to be very expensive. And this year, the property tax on just the car itself was $800. So just for that alone was $11,600. Okay, and then with car insurance, $200 a month. $200 a month, because you need to have comprehensive collision and liability since the car is brand new and it's a lease, right? So $200 a month. So we're adding on another $2,400. So, okay, I haven't even included gas here, but just to have the car for a year is $14,000, guys. $14,000. And that's only on her car. Her husband has his own car. I don't know how they do their money or whether he leases or whatever. I only see her finances, so $14,000 a year. She eats out every single day. Every morning she goes to Dunkin' Donuts to get her $3 coffee, and she will order lunch for pickup, usually at Panera Bread, okay? But, you know, when I look at the receipts for the lunch, usually they average around $20, okay? And she typically goes out to dinner with friends pretty often. I would say a few times a week. Let's say around 3 times a week. And the bill can be quite high. A lot of times I get bills or receipts from her that are over $100. But when I average out just how much money she spends on eating out and trying to put it on her business as a tax write-off. She's eating out. It costs around $1,000 a month. Okay, she's spending around $1,000 a month. That equates to $12,000 a year just on eating out. So far, the running total of her house and the utilities that go with the house and the transportation that gets her to and from work and to meet clients at showings for houses, and along with the restaurant food that she eats, we're already looking at a running balance of $70,520, okay? And this is just like bare, well, what we would consider bare necessities, things that we actually need, and this is just her portion. Okay, this is her portion. I haven't even taken into account other lifestyle spending, such as, I don't know, like going on vacations, or the fact that she recently just bought a second vacation home, which, you know, amounts to an extra few $1,000s a month, or any of her husband's expenses. So it's a lot of money, you know, just those three categories alone is already much higher than the amount of money that my husband and I spend in a total year for the two of us, okay? It's a lot of money. It's as if like people who do this, they just end up spending a lot of money on every single possible category that you can think of. Like they don't even cut back on housing, find a way to cut back on the cell phone bill, find a way to cut back on those utilities. Like it's just overall everything seems to be on the high side. And this is why I think that despite people making a lot of money, they don't feel any sort of fulfillment from their spending, because all of this money that you're spending, it just goes toward necessities that you just need to survive, but you're just paying a lot of money for it, okay? Instead of having the money going toward things that you're more passionate about, things that would make you feel more content and more fulfilling. Things like, so here's the thing, okay? Every single year since I was 20 years old, my income has been going up and up and up. Because I have more experience, I've taken on more clients, you know? So I watch myself earn more money through these years, and I try my best not to have any sort of lifestyle inflation. So I follow my own advice, you know, in my own book. I say with every raise, every increase in your pay, you know, try to spend only 50% of your raise and save 50%. So that way, with every raise, you do get like some sort of more comfort, but at the same time, you're also like not trying to spend more than you earn, okay? So we've been following that, you know, with every single raise, regardless of how much money we make, we've always just lived on, what is it? So we save 30% of our after-tax income. And that's been the way it's been since the beginning. We save 30%. Sometimes we save 35% if it's a good year, you know? This year, with the way things are going, and since there are still 4 months of the year left, I'm estimating that by the end of this year, on December 31st, you know, we're saving about 40% of our after-tax income, which is a lot of money. But, you know, even with that, like I'm talking about my increases in income, yes, absolutely. Have we been spending more throughout the years too? Yes, we have. I have slowly been spending money on things that actually matter to me. So when I was 20 years old, I made a vision book. So it's kind of like a vision board, but I put it into a book because I knew that in the future, I wanted to have a lot of travel in my life, which meant that I needed something more compact, and I can't have a poster board to carry around with me everywhere I move, okay? So I put all my visions into a vision book. And in this book, I put things in like, I wanted to have clear skin. I want to learn figure skating. I want to someday travel around the world with a backpack, right? Things that I actually want to do in my life that would add happiness. And slowly, as the years go by, I'm putting more and more money toward the things that are in my book. So for example, one of the things that was in my book was I really wanted to develop my personal style. And since last year I started making more money, I decided, you know what? I think I have the funds to be able to do this now. I want to be able to develop my personal style so that everyone, when they look at me, they see, oh, that's Annie. Like her sense of style is great. She looks unique, you know, fun. And I nowadays, because like I've been developing my personal style for a year now and putting money into doing this. I get compliments from people on the street like, oh wow, that jacket, that collar is just so charismatic on you. So, but that's because I've been very deliberate with how I spend my money. So over the years, with the increase in income and along with the increase in spending, the increase in spending has been very deliberate, okay? So I think that if you're earning a high income and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have the capability to be able to cut back on the things that are just considered necessities and actually be able to spend money on things that would add more joy to your life. But first, of course, you need to figure out what is it that adds joy to your life. I think a lot of people, they just spend money needlessly and trying to chase the next biggest thing to bring them temporary happiness. But I've thought very long and hard about the things that I have actually wanted for a few years already. So, when I finally earn enough money to be able to do it, I just go, right now. And so, just another thing, like, something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. I wanted to have piano lessons. I wanted to learn piano, okay? But my parents didn't want to pay for the piano lessons, and it's just not, sometimes life isn't fair. I was born with parents that didn't want to let me have piano lessons. But, piano lessons are expensive, and it wasn't until finally last month, I finally looked at my finances, and I said, you know what? Finally, now I can do what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. So now I take private piano lessons. They're $75 an hour. It's expensive, okay? But finally, I can be able to afford it, and financially, I'm set. We're saving around 40% of our after-tax income every year, and I can still afford to have private piano lessons. I have a lot of joy in my life now, and I just want you guys to have the same. And this is why I believe high-income earners live paycheck to paycheck, okay? If you found this information enlightening and you want to be able to save more of your money instead of flushing it down the toilet, I would highly appreciate it if you just went on Amazon, you bought my book, 1001 Ways to Save Money. Quit flushing your hard-earned money down the toilet. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Whether you agree with me or not, let me know what you think, because I know it can be a little controversial, and I hope I wasn't too mean today, But, sometimes I will hurt people's feelings. But, okay, I think you needed to hear this today, okay? Share it with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.